So next topic is exception handling, which is very concept, very important concept. Okay, before starting demo of that, so let us understand the theory of exception handling. What do you mean by exception? Any idea? Any fair idea? Any? What do you mean by exception? Exception is a problem. It's an error. For example, you have to go to your office. Okay, let's say uh, you're going from home to office. So the lot of actions, the lot of steps in between you have to take. You have to step out from office. You have to get a auto, a bus, vehicle to reach your office, and get down from the vehicle and go to office. These are the steps. If anything, any problem or any issue you are getting between these steps is called as exception. Got it? Similarly, just compare the same example with the Java example. So we have a method which is doing some work. Right? It is doing some action. Division. Okay, what it does basically, division method, it does divide two numbers, int a, int b, int c. A is 10, b is 0, so c divides a divided by b. Okay, this is the mathematical operation, correct, right? So let me give this 5. So I have a system out println statements. The division value is c. So I can print this. Fine, if I run this, you will get a output like division value is t, because a divided by b, 10 divided by 5 is 2. Let's say this is steps, right? Steps to get output of this. This is expected result. Now in this particular steps, if you get any problem, what do you call this? It's an exception. Correct, right? Exception is nothing but what? An exception is a problem that can occur during the execution of a program. Exception is a issue or problem that can occur during your actions. You are reaching from your home to office, in between lot of steps, in between any steps giving problem to you. You are not getting bus, but something happened in between by reaching office. All those are the issues. Same way in a program, any problem occurs between the steps, it's called as exception. What we have to do, see, these are the reasons. See, why do we get exceptions? User might have done some, entered some invalid data, or file that needs to be opened cannot be accessed. Yeah, let's say you have a program that is accessing a file outside your program, but that file itself is not present in that particular folder. Wrong path you have given. Then what is that? You will get an exception saying that file not found, right? And network connection has been lost. You are working and you got your internet connection disconnected. Say that it says exception, there is no net connection. Correct, right? These are all the chances where you would get exception during your programming. So how do you handle, you have to handle this. See, for example, this is happy scenario which we have seen result. If I run this, you will get a result. Let's say, let me divide by 0. What is the divide by 0? What do you get? It's an infinity value, right? So when you run this, you will get an error, an exception. See, because between these two steps, there is some problem. What is the problem? Arithmetic exception. You are trying to divide a number by 0, which is not supported by the Java, mathematic addition, mathematic operation, right? So now where we are getting this problem? We are getting problem here, this line. Let's take another line of statement code. Okay, so let me run this again. See here, this program is writing what? See, this code is executing the division program, but the next line after this operation, this is not executing. What does that mean? Means the problem is at this line. Now we have to handle this. Problem means what? Exception. What exception? Arithmetic exception. Arithmetic exception. So I have to handle this. To handle that, Java support as a concept called as exception handling. That is what we are going to discuss now. Okay, before that, let us understand the theory. Just read this. Okay, some of these exceptions are caused by users errors and program errors and other physical resources. Exception handling is one of the powerful mechanism. Yes, it's a powerful mechanism because in Java program, while working with Selenium, there are chances we would get lot of issues. See, for example, this is our application, right? So I'm trying to log in. Okay, see, I got an error. So now this is a problem because I have entered user has done some mistake, user error. I have entered invalid data to the password. So I got an validation message. How to handle this? So I should handle when I get this kind of error, again you retry with correct password, then you log in. Okay, that means you should have handled that situation. You should have that mechanism in your program. If you write, if user is trying to enter with valid, invalid password, it again next time you should try with the valid one. Okay, so that kind of scenarios we will get in automation testing. Okay, well, I'll tell you that. So now how to handle this? By using, okay, by using, so let's see the line which is giving exception, which is throwing exception. Let's say the line, this is the line which is throwing exception, right? Error. So we'll enclose this line of code with a try. Okay, and we'll catch something like in a cricket ball. You'll catch that ball, exception ball. What we're getting? Exception. And it is, okay, I'll explain this. What is this? So what I did, I have catched that exception here. Now let me run this. The division value is 0. See, now this line is executing, this line also executing. What is happening? That means, so this line is giving problem, but still I can get this line of code. Now my program is not stopping because of this exception. Means I have handled this. Somebody has been catched using catch block. Okay, I have catched that and I allowed this program to execute further. So I can say here, I can, while catching, I can say some output saying that, catched. Then, yes, exception has been catched. Fine. So what is that exception? Simply type plus E. I'll explain you this. See, catched arithmetic exception by 0. Yeah, yeah, Zaina. No, no, no. See, for us, the mathematic concept is infinity. So, but in Java program, it says you are trying to divide a number by 0, which is not allowed. Fine. Hmm? See, now system out print I'm using this and exception has been catched. Now I would like to catch that what error I'm getting. What error I'm getting. Okay, the divide, this is the error I'm getting. Dividing by 0. See, exception is a class. Okay, you have to understand this now. Try is, it's a keyword, so it's a block, and catch is a block. Okay, so try block always we use a block of code which gives problem, and catch block we use to catch that problem, and inside that we use some print statement to print what problem went. See, exception is a class. Let's go to theory now. See, exception handling is one powerful mechanism, right? How Java has been supporting for this means Java has inbuilt, some a class files. Like you see, exception is a class file. What it does, it catches the throwed exception. See, throwable is one interface. Okay. Anyway, so this complete concept is not required to for us. That's why I'm just explaining in between. Exception is a class in Java. It has subtypes: IO exception, SQL exception, runtime exception, arithmetic exception. So this is the exception we are getting now. So don't worry, we don't worry about different types of exception. So let's understand exception is a class. Okay, so why I'm not explaining it is because if you are a developer, then understanding all these is required. Since we are testers, automation tester, we not required to understand all of this. Okay, you just work on this. Once you are getting familiar with this exception handling, later you can dig some more information yourself. Okay, see, it's a class. So where it is present, it's present inside the lang package, Java lang. We have studied the package concept, right? Exception class present under this package. This is a default package. User, I mean, yeah, it's not a user defined package, it's a default package which is available in Java. The class, exception class, its subclass are the form of throwable. Throwable, what is that? It's an interface. So don't worry. So don't scratch your head to understand this. Now, leave this. Just blindly understand. Exception is a class. See, what is this? I'm creating a reference variable of E. Yes, this is a pattern we have to use like this. E, E or anything. You can give your name. Okay. Just a variable I'm using here. Okay, or E message, exception message. Okay, usually when you see any programs in Google or any program, they use E because simply, and a simple name. So since it is a class, it has lot of what? Members, class members, methods that can be accessible. That can be accessible. How? Like this, E dot. So the lot of methods are available under exception. As I told you, throwable is what? Is a class, an interface. So it is extended by an exception class. That's why you could see all methods coming from the throwable. Okay, don't worry. So these are the methods which you can access using the exception class reference variable. Okay, so here we very important method for us is a get message. That's all. We you always use get message. What is the get message method here? Simple e dot get message. Get message it prints what went wrong in this line of code. See here by dividing by 0. This is the message of exception. Yes. Okay. That's all how to handle the exception in Java program. This is one example. Let me take another example to make it understand. Okay, so once again, let me switch on the power. Yes, starting now. Fine. Let me take an again public void array. So we how to declare an array? Int numbers right. So let's have simple statement system out println int 6. Sorry. So run this. So because why it is not printing? Guess because it doesn't have public static void main method. Okay, you create an object of this to access you have to use new keyword as the constructor e demo dot access. Run this, you will get an error. What is that? Array index out of bound exception. Sir, you are trying to access an array element which is nowhere exists here. You have declared array size as 5, but you are trying to access 6. But 4, it will access because within the array limit and there is no any value. I have not defined any value, but still it can access because 0. Default integer value is 0, right? It's printing 0. Now if I try to access 6, what it says? Because you are accessing something outside the bound of array. Array index out of bound exception. These are the different types of exception, guys. So don't worry. So how to handle this? Or which line it is giving problem? This is the line. What I should do now? I should catch this. I should catch this exception like Dhoni. Correct, right? So let's catch this now. Try catch. Exception. Any exception. Exception is like a parent class. It has different types. So I'm least bothered about types of class. I want to catch the exception. That's all. Okay. The exception is what? E. See, exception is array index out of bound exception. You are trying to access a index of 6 which is out of the bound of an array. Simple, right? So you can, this is how you can capture. So how this is relevant to the our testing? Yes, I told you, right? See, in testing, so you have a method, something like this. Login valid. Sorry, login. You have a login class which contains login scenarios. Public void login with valid. So you have another method called as login with invalid. Fine, you have lines of codes here. Enter username. Enter password. Enter, so not enter. Click login button. These are lines of code, right? So you would get, so okay. System out println. The login is successful when all these lines are executed. There are chances these lines, any line could give problem. So then what you have to do? Try this code. If any exception comes, catch that exception and display a relevant message, my message, some message. The login is not successful. So some exception thrown. What is that exception? E. When I run this code, you are getting login is successful. Let's assume some problem, something went wrong here. Okay, something like, you are trying to get an exception. Let me create an exception situation here. Same exception situation. I'll use this. Just assume this is the line of code which is you have in between. Okay, so see here, now login is successful. When I login is not successful. Okay, array index of bound exception 6. See, because your login scenario code has given some problem. Okay, so that's why I'm catching that exception and executing this. Here, using exception message is exceptional, optional for you. You can print only whatever you want. Login is not successful. Then the manual tester will go back and see, oh, okay, this is went wrong. Okay, I should verify. There must be some problem in the application. Go. What happens here? When you log in, there could be error message. There could be a validation message. There could be some error page also because of some developer mistake. That means your automation script is catching that exception. It is indicating that, dear tester, please go back and check the scenario manually and verify whether it is working or not. If it is working properly, then your code is wrong, automation code, then come and correct. If it is not working, that means your automation script has been encountered a exception. That means this is how we work, guys. This is how we work in Selenium. So here we will write Selenium code. Here we will write Selenium code. Like this, every scenarios will have plenty of test cases. All those codes will write like this. So that's why I'm telling you, try catch is very, very important. Okay, so this is about the try catch. Fine. So there are other things. So let's understand one more concept called as throws. Okay, so throws demo. See the let's just keep seeing this message. Now let me take this method here. I'm just reusing the existing code instead of writing to save time. See, I want to declare what? I want to declare these variables. Okay, now so I have a method. I don't want this try catch. Okay. So as of now, we have seen how to handle try catch. It's very important. So now we'll understand one more small concept. Okay, I have a division method which is doing division work. Okay, I know that this is throwing an exception. See, correct, right? So let's say I have a method. So in program, so I have another method, public like demo, division demo. Okay, so what this method basically doing, this method is just calling this division method inside this, that's all. So what I should do then, I should to print this, so I should call this method, run this. See, this method is called by this method, but still this method also throwing an error. Okay, so what is that? So your exception which is throwing here, it is propagated into the another method, which is because it is calling that. It's called as exception propagation. Okay, what is called as exception, okay, propagation. It is just going for down. Fine. See, there is a keyword called as throws. You can say, you can indicate any method, so it could throw an exception. Then any method, if it is calling that method, exception throwing method, it says you handle that, otherwise you throw again. This method also throw. So what I can do, I will handle. It says, see, unhandle exception means user itself indicating that this method could throw, because I don't know, because if it is 5 2, I am not using, just assume this. When I run this, you will get result, a valid result, because valid division, right? Oh, sorry, one statement is missing here. Okay, you will get result, division value is 5, but this is because we have hard coded here, that's why we can guess. So which line of code could throw an error when b is equal to 0? Let's assume this is dynamically you are getting during runtime. Then we do program, or programmer also doesn't know that what value will be entered to the b by user. Then that case, then that case, I should tell this method is throws an exception. Then, so for safety, you better handle that, better use try catch. The exception is this. Okay, let's now if I type 0 here, um, divided by 0. See, that means we are user itself is indicating that it throws an exception wherever this method is called. Please use try catch. Otherwise, you can again just undo the action. Then again you throw. Again you use the throws exception. That means the method which is calling a method which is throwing an exception. Again you use the throws keyword and I say even this method also throws an exception. Then ultimate the child the end point where it is called, there also it throws an compilation error saying that either you throws otherwise use catch block. It's an option for you the user. Okay guys, this is the simple. Fine. Okay, so this is about throws. So this we use sometimes in the Java program, in our Selenium programming. I will understand. I will show you this. I will make you understand this why when we use throws. Okay. So this is about the exception handling. There are some more concepts. Okay. Like okay, throwable class. Okay, we have understood it's a final and finally. I think this is not required. I will make this color and I'll explain you finally when we use that. Okay, throws and throw is not required. Okay, that's for the development purpose. And throws we have understood, and different type of exception also we have understood, and need of exception handling in Selenium framework. Okay, that's what we have seen an example right here. Login. Okay, so what is the exception handling usage to handle the negative scenarios? Okay, so when we go to the Selenium, then we'll understand the real practical usage of try catch and exception handling. So that's about the exception handling. That's about the class 8. Okay, so anyway, if you have any questions, so you can ask me through mail. Otherwise, now, do you have any questions? Okay, so let me stop the record.